Exposed. Exposed. Woo. Exposed. Yeah. Ha. You exposed, bitch. You exposed. If you got no games, you exposed, bitch. You exposed. You exposed. You exposed, bitch. You exposed. 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 Woo. Exposed. You exposed, bitch. You exposed. If you got no games, you exposed, bitch. You exposed. You exposed. You exposed, bitch. You exposed. You exposed, bitch. You exposed. You exposed. You exposed, bitch. You exposed.
So, how went your college football Saturday? Just a regular run-of-the-mill college football weekend in early October, huh? And this was edited, but I didn't feel like going back and editing this again for UCLA. But where do we even begin with the madness that was what I will dub Exposed Saturday, or Exposed Week, as it really began on Thursday with Oregon getting beaten down by, not beaten down, but beaten by Rich Rod and the boys. I'm happy for Rich Rodriguez. I like Rich Rod. And I'm bringing you a online, not an online dynasty, an offline dynasty, my UConn dynasty here as the backdrop with my now in the top 25 UConn Huskies in my second conference game. I won my conference opener, but who cares? This is all about the real college football world and the mass exposing of the top 10. 'Tis the season, and Michigan State tried their damnedest to join the ranks of the exposed. All they had to do was run out the clock, stay in the field of play, and the game was over. But no, their back had to go out of bounds, and then they tried to kick a field goal. They missed the kick, and Nebraska is set up with prime field position, and they almost win that game. They had a shot. But Nebraska, once again, just cannot throw the ball well enough. I really like how Michigan State plays defense. They just line up, dare you to throw the football, and if you can't, you're not beating them. Period. Notre Dame did their best to make me pull my hair out. I think Everett Golson does this to me on purpose. He knows that I'm watching, and he just does his best to drive me insane. Everett is a really, really weird kid. I was talking to my other Notre Dame and college football fan brethren, and I said that Everett reminds me of Randall Cunningham. Not in stature or not even in terms of physical talent, but like Randall Cunningham, Everett Golson can look like both the best and the worst quarterback you've ever seen, not just in the same game, not just in the same drive, but in the same play. He commits a lot of cardinal sins at the QB position, but he gets away with them more than they come back to bite him. But there were some positives to take from that game. I'm starting to believe that the defense may be a little bit more for real. I still need to see what they do against a multi-dimensional offense that can run it and throw it equally well. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. But if you're a real team, you got to find a way to win those type of games, those grinders. And I thought Oregon had their grinder on the road against Washington State. I didn't really hold that game against them at all, because those type of games happen in this season. On the road, in conference, Mike Leach can coach, and if you catch his offense on a night that it's clicking, you're not stopping it. They're going to put up yards. But you can't turn around and give up 300 yards of rushing and 500 yards of total offense the next week. And their offensive line had issues. They're all kinds of beat up, and they just could not survive. And now you have, with UCLA losing as well, and USC getting beat on a Hail Mary, the Pac-12 just in a complete and total free-for-all. A&M, I thought A&M had their grinder game against Arkansas again. If you're for real, gotta find a way to win that game. They did. I can't say that I pay that much attention to Mississippi State. I'll take a glance at what they're doing from time to time because, you know, Dan Mullen is from that herb tree, and plus a guy in our online dynasty is a Mississippi State fanatic. And they passed their eyeball test. Looked very good. That's what these, you know, showdown games provide the opportunity for. You find out who's masquerading as a fraud and, who can survive the pressure game. I didn't see much of the Oklahoma TCU game at all. From what I saw, the footage, their quarterback played pretty well. I watched him quite a bit last year, and he looked just lost on occasions. But Gary Patterson can coach, and, I'm happy to see him have that kind of success. And Stoops, since his national title run, he's really become a guy that just falls into 2 losses every single season. Now, that's not bad. I mean, there's plenty of programs out there that would kill for a decade of 10-2. But you'd figure with his, pedigree, his background, and the talent that he gets, that he would have cashed in more than that one national championship. But he keeps on winning Big 12 titles, and he just seems to be settled into a very Mac Brown type of career. He'll be able to stay at Oklahoma for as long as he wants and go 10-2 all the time until the bottom falls out of the program and they have to fire him or force him to leave. And that leads me to Alabama. Has Alabama finally joined the rest of us plebs, where they're still going to be good, but their margin for error is like the rest of us now? Amari Cooper is really good. He might just be the best football player in the country. But A.J. McCarron, Eddie Lacy, Julio Jones, Dre Kirkpatrick, C.J. Mosley, they ain't walking through that door. And that's the biggest difference I see with Alabama right now. A.J. McCarron does not throw that interception. And they're not the same defensively anymore. They blow coverages. They play more young people than they've ever had to before. True freshmen, true sophomores, redshirt freshmen in important roles. They just don't have that assembly line depth anymore. They're still recruiting well, but it's going to take time. You just can't have these years of just flooding the NFL draft with talent and it does not come back and reflect itself on the field. You just can't plug in those guys forever. It happens to everybody. You have a 5-year window when you have your program built to win and really win big, and then you have to turn it over. And I think that's the phase that Alabama is at right now. But it's hard to get that back because there's almost always a program that's now taking your place as that program is hitting their 5-year prime. And Florida State, looks to be that, but they should have a loss already. It wasn't for Clemson doing, Clemson things. We all know how Clemson rolls in big spots. And I'm not going to even get into UCLA. I've seen UCLA bomb more times than the world put together. I mean, UCLA is Clemson West, North Carolina West. So, what the hell is the top 25 going to look like tomorrow? Notre Dame survived. Baylor survived. Auburn survived unscathed. For what it's worth, Georgia Tech's undefeated. I need to get into what has gone on with Miami and Florida at some point. Sad state of affairs. But, yeah, Paul Johnson and the flex bone spread option is out of the gate quick. They're not going to win anything. They're going to come up against it sooner or later, but I like to see Paul Johnson always do well. And keeping of the theme of exposed week, my UConn Huskies get exposed on the road against Cincinnati. Our short-lived stay in the top 25 comes crashing to an end. So this series will pick up. That won't go anywhere. And I've picked my team that I'll do a Madden online franchise with. So stay tuned for that as well. Hope you guys enjoy. Talk to you all later. Peace.